just happened. The Golden State Warriors just lost 91-90 to the Houston Rockets in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. And in my opinion, they were robbed in this ball game. Up 6 with 1:20 to go. Fred VanVleet hits a 3. Fine, sure. Golden State can't score on the other end. Whatever. 32 seconds come around. Rockets get the ball back. They get a layup with Alperen Şengün. What happens next? Golden State's ensuing possession. They decide to, essentially run an ISO for Stephen Curry. He takes you could call it a good shot, you could call it a bad shot. It's a Steph shot. I'm not going to be mad at him ever taking a triple. It misses. Chaos ensues. Ball's being tapped around. It looked like the Rockets were going to secure the rebound. Then Gary Payton swipes it away. He gets on the floor. Fred VanVleet lands on him. I'll talk about that more in a second. Then he swings it over, tries to get the ball away to a fellow teammate. Then more chaos ensues. People are diving on the floor. Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, Tari Eason. There's a scramble for the basketball. And 80 feet away from the basket, the referee calls a foul. Golden State's over the limit, sending Jalen Green to the free throw line to win the game on free throws. Now, a lot of the time, I'm okay. Not necessarily okay, but I can live with a game being ended on free throws if it's an egregious call. If the foul is egregious and it needs to be called, sure. But this is 80 feet from the basket, and Steve Kerr in the postgame said that he has never seen this foul called in 30 years playing basketball. I mean, how do you call that? And I understand, like, if it's a foul, it's a foul, you call it. But with the way that the officials were officiating this game for 47 minutes and 56 seconds, they let them play. You see the score down here. This doesn't say that that these teams went to the line a ton in this game. I think both teams shot less than 12 free throws apiece. How do you call that in that situation with 3.5 seconds to go? And talking back to Gary Payton, thinking back to that point when he dives on the floor and Fred VanVleet lands on him, that was more of a foul. If you're going to call that, how do you not call the one that was 2 seconds beforehand? What a disaster of an officiating job at the end of this ball game, and it cost the Golden State Warriors a spot in the NBA Cup semifinals. It cost them a spot in Vegas, and it cost them another win on the season. They've now lost 7 of their last 9, and this train seems like it's fallen off the tracks more so than it's getting to its final destination. I'm appalled. Golden State, they did deserve to win this game. They were up 6 with 1:20 left. They cleaned up the turnovers that were so potent there in the first half, all through the second half. It says they only had 15 turnovers in the ball game. I don't even buy that number, but they cleaned it up in the second half. They were the better team in the final 24 minutes, and they got that game ripped away from them. You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith. I appreciate everybody who joined us for the Golden State Warriors versus Houston Rockets watch party. But before we get more in-depth about this game, I got to hear from you guys. Was that the worst call of all time? In that situation, knowing the context of this basketball game, was that the worst call ever? 80 feet for the basket where they're not calling a foul all game. They decide the game on free throws. On a scramble for the ball where I don't even know if Jalen Green had possession. If anything, you'd give him the timeout, but I don't even know if he had possession. I think it was a jump ball personally. And they call a foul. Was it the worst call of all time? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Overall, this was an absolute battle for 48 minutes between two of the Western Conference's best teams. Make no mistake about it. The Rockets are a really, really good basketball team. Golden State did beat them last week without Steph and Draymond. Jonathan Kuminga had one of his best games of his career. But tonight, you're missing Andrew Wiggins. You're missing Moses Moody. Wiggins proved to be a massive loss in this game because he's been shooting so well from deep so far this year. He's shooting 40% from three-point range. And for a Golden State team that shot 4 of 22 in the first half, they needed that kind of player out there. They didn't want I'm sure Steve Kerr did not want Gary Payton II starting out there tonight. He just doesn't provide enough on the offensive end for him to warrant a starting spot and to warrant the minutes that he was getting in Andrew Wiggins' absence. But Golden State did go 8 of 16 on their last 16 three-point attempts there in the second half. So I hats off to them for that. And they did a great job defending the three-point line as well, only limiting the Rockets to 22% from deep range. Overall, they won the rebound battle. Assists were identical. and you lose the game. And it's unfortunate, man. This is one that hurts. This is one that hurts. We'll talk about the players a little bit as well. Steph wasn't a great shooting night for him, but wasn't the worst. Like, the issue is he missed the biggest shot of the game. And we're not talking about that foul call if he just hits the three while Dylan Brooks is defending him in the closing seconds. That's what it comes down to. I can't be too worried about the output out of Steph. I do find it odd, though, in a game that's must win. You survive in advance, you go to Vegas if you win this game. Like, he probably should have been playing like 35, 36 minutes in this ball game. I think he was only limited to about 32. So overall, like, you got to have Steph in there when the time comes. Yeah, Steph played 33 minutes. I got to see closer to 40. And it's those stretches in the middle of the game where Steph's not on the floor. You also don't have Wiggins, and then you got Draymond off the floor for some reason as well. There are lineups when one of those three is hurt, two of them cannot be off the court for long stretches. Things implode for Golden State, and it did tonight. And in the middle of the game, kind of killed you when you were really sloppy there in that first and second quarter, turning the ball over. I think it was 6 turnovers in the first quarter, 8 in the second quarter, and they really cleaned it up over the rest of the game, but it didn't matter. You already put yourself in too deep of a hole. You only scored 37 points through the first 24 minutes of this ball game, and it just wasn't enough. Golden State wasn't led by Steph, though. They were led by Jonathan Kuminga in the scoring column, 20 points, 7 rebounds. Love the effort that I saw from Jonathan Kuminga on the glass today. Something we want to see more of as his career develops is him just having more facets to his game, being more than just a downhill scorer, which he did very, very well tonight. Did hit a couple big threes as well. Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga hit massive threes for Golden State. I believe they were the threes that etched them to 90 points in this game. Podziemski on one end in the right corner, and then the next trip down, Jonathan Kuminga hits a big-time three in the left corner. So I was proud of the effort that he had tonight, and I guess that's a good way for us to segue to Brandon Podziemski here, who didn't get the start tonight, but he played a ton of minutes. And it's a Pods game, right? 8 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. I think he's a bad basketball player, guys. I don't think he's very good. He's inbounding the ball there on that last possession that Golden State gets after the foul. 3.5 seconds left. He forces it into Curry. Curry has to force it back to Pods. We get the ball in Pods' hands with the clock expiring. And he puts up a 3 and gets blocked. It hits the side of the backboard. Game over. I just don't think Brandon Podziemski's a very good basketball player. And Golden State has just unfortunately pushed too many chips into the center of the table on this guy to where they cannot be playing him big-time minutes in big-time moments. However, he did hit a big-time 3 like I just mentioned. Like I can't take that away from him, but 30-something other minutes of work for Brandon Podziemski were just not up to my standards personally. Draymond was very sloppy today as well. He had a ton of turnovers. I think it was 4 in the first quarter from Draymond. Unacceptable. It's just unacceptable for in the first half maybe. But just overall, like, you got to be better. I mean, he's trying to throw too hot of passes. Some of them are errant. Golden State's playing out of control as a whole. And when your leader in Draymond Green is making those bad decisions, it's just going to trickle down. It's just going to trickle down to the rest of the team, and it's not going to yield great results for a Golden State team that is already thin in this game, especially missing Andrew Wiggins, missing Moses Moody. Just overall, I need to see better out of Draymond Green. Also, Buddy Hield. He's kind of getting back on the horse, though, now, right? We kind of feel like Buddy is getting back in the mix here for Golden State for the most part. 3 of 9 from 3 tonight, but overall 6 of 12. I loved, and I use this like a capital L here, loved the defensive effort from Buddy Hield tonight. Getting his hands in certain spots, deflecting the ball away, swatting shots away at the rim, man. I love the effort I saw from Hield tonight. He was fantastic, and I just hope he can continue this better streak of shooting that he has than he had over the Warriors' losing streak. But again, I mean, it doesn't matter when at the end of the day, we're just looking for wins, and the Warriors did not get one tonight. We'll talk more about this game in just a moment, but first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform with over 10 million active members, including yours truly. And you can get started today with a free $50 in your account when you place your first $5 entry and use our promo code CLNS. You can now win up to 200 times your money on Prize Picks. You might be asking me, 200 times entry, what does it all mean? Well, it's super simple. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 player stat projections and just pick more or less. Join now, because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during their promo called Picksmas. Think Steph Curry will get more than 5 3-pointers next week? Giannis more than 35 points? You can play those at Prize Picks. the lineup that I went with for this game for the Warriors, Stephen Curry more than 11 threes attempted. He only had 9, unfortunately. Draymond did have less than 3.5, and Şengün had more than 10.5 rebounds. So 2 or 3 on this Prize Picks. We'll get them next time. You can take my picks, fade my picks. Just go do it at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Use that promo code CLNS for free $50 in your account when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Overall, man, I mean, you just need a little bit of a better offensive output through the first 24 minutes of this game for Golden State, right? 53 points scored in the second half. Fine by me. You limited the Rockets to 47, I believe, in the second half because they had 44 in the first. You had 37. It just can't happen. It just can't happen. You win the second half by 6, but you were down 7 in the first half, and that was a result of 14 first-half turnovers. I mentioned it before. Draymond has to be better. Steph's even got to be better with the ball in his hands. Obviously, we know Pods has to be better with the ball in his hands. Kuminga's got to be better when driving to the rack. Hold the ball tighter so you're not getting it stripped and it's coming off your knee like that. It's little stuff. Lindy Waters III, can we get over the half-court line when we need to? I know the shot clock should have probably been reset there, but awareness, little things, they add up, and that's what happens when you lose a game like this by 1 point. I thought the Warriors' defense was fine for the most part tonight. Shout out to Kevon Looney and Draymond Green for doing a fantastic job on Alperen Şengün. Yeah, he got his shots in the intermediate. Yeah, he got some easy layups on mismatches. But when he was backing down, players like Kevon Looney and Draymond Green, he had nowhere to go. He wasn't getting any movement on those guys. And he would have to do a fall-away floater, which sometimes he would make, but sometimes he wouldn't. And they did a great job defending him at the rim overall today. I can't say enough good things about the efforts that Kevon Looney has given this team over the past couple of weeks, right? He looks like he wants to stay with this team for the rest of the season and beyond. Golden State might be dangling him in a trade right now, but I think he deserves to stay on this team, no doubt. I overall just think this game was one you had, man. You had it in the bucket. It was you're up 6 with 1:20 left. You don't lose those games, dude. You don't lose those games. As far as what the Rockets did offensively, I can't say that Golden State didn't deserve to win this game. You let a guy like Jabari Smith Jr. get a little bit hot there in that first half, but overall, you limited him in half number 2. Şengün was really who would kill you tonight, right? 26, 11, and 5. But I thought he was playing pretty well. He was pretty well defended for the most part. A lot of these were floaters. A lot of these were foul line jumpers where he's kind of fading back, and he's a 7-footer. Nobody on Golden State is really able to, reach above where Alperen Şengün can reach. So, he's going to hit a lot of those shots. He's a fantastic offensive big, one of the best in the NBA at passing the basketball, at rebounding, at putting the ball in the cup. He does all 3 of those things so phenomenally. You're lucky you only held him to 26 and 11 tonight. That's a good game. You held Jalen Green there after he had 8 points in the first half. He had 2 points in the second half before those final free throws of this ball game. I don't even want to talk about that anymore. Did a pretty good job on Fred VanVleet as well. He started the game 0 of 8 from 3. Hit his last 2 though. It's just when it matters, man. His team didn't get it done, and you can blame that foul call, but at the end of the day, you're up 6. Don't surrender the 5 points before that. Don't let Fred VanVleet get open on an inbound from the baseline for 3. I think he was the one that inbounded it, giving it to Şengün, and then he just popped right out. That's something the Warriors do. They should know that. Should be ready for that. They should be thinking that they're probably going to take a 3 in that scenario with a minute left. You can't let it happen. You just can't let it happen. I mean, Amen Thompson, how many times did he cut to the rim today for an easy dunk? Overall, I don't think the Golden State defense was that bad. Buddy Hield, phenomenal on that end. Kevon Looney, really good down low against Şengün. Draymond Green, good against Şengün. Overall, I thought it was solid defense tonight, but then you have on the flip side, guys like Pods getting blown by. Even GP2 getting blown by in some scenarios. Buddy Hield, in some certain, on-ball situations, yeah, he was blown by as well. Curry, blown by as well. You got to get a full team effort, and I think Jerry Stackhouse is doing a phenomenal job kind of transforming this Golden State Warriors team so far on the defensive end. That's what he was brought in to do. I think he's doing a great job, but there's just certain moments that can't happen. And, yeah, the game was super tight the whole time. Just unfortunate that it gets ended on free throws, on maybe the most bogus call that I've seen all NBA season. I mean, I reached levels of my voice that I didn't know I could reach when I heard that there was a foul on that and that Golden State was over the limit and they'd be sending Houston to the free throw line to basically ice the game. Can't have it. You can't have it if this team wants to be one of the Western Conference's elite. I think we know now that this team needs to make a move. There just has to be better. We got to make better decisions as a basketball team. And I think bringing in some new blood, maybe shedding off some of the fat of this roster, getting rid of D'Anthony Melton's contract, which is $12.8 million, just sitting there doing nothing right now. Like, he was phenomenal. He's a guy who you needed in this game to be that point of attack defender on a guy like Van Vliet in the closing minutes. I don't know, man. I don't know where Golden State goes from here. Probably to the phone lines, calling up a team like Brooklyn, calling up a team like Utah, and calling up a team like Washington to see what kind of assets that they can acquire and make this team closer to championship contention. And we'll be here with a video when we hear anything about that stuff. So that's why you subscribe to the channel. We had a phenomenal watch party for Warriors Rockets. So many people tuned in. I think over 35,000 people tuned into the stream. So if you want to be a part of it, free, informative, entertaining Golden State Warriors content all season long, make sure you hit that red sub button. We're on the road to 71K. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go Dubs.